Coach Barry, I guess coming off the Tuesday game, how do you feel about your team going on the road? You did take two or three at Jacksonville State, but those midweek road games are kind of tough right now. Can you talk a little bit about that? And are you worried about that so early in the season?
Well, I think we've used that phrase early in the season, probably to where now to me, we've pushed past that. Yeah, I mean, I think 0-3 right now in midweek games with three more to go. Certainly, we need to do a better job and take care of business. We didn't respond very well, especially coming off from a what I thought was a weekend where we really competed well against a very good club. I was hoping to go to South Alabama and redeem ourselves after an earlier loss in the year and tie that series up because we kind of approached it as a three-game series just in the midweek. We're two at their place and one at ours. So I'm disappointed in the loss, but after everything has happened, our focus now needs to be on this weekend and the series with Missouri State. But in future midweeks, next Tuesday when we go to Alabama, obviously it'll be a big challenge, but more importantly, like you've alluded to, it's a midweek game that we've yet to be successful in.
Coach, give us a little scouting report on Missouri State. What you guys expect from them?
Well, I was on Coach Gutton's staff for 6 years up there, so I know him well. The pitching coach was on staff there as well when I was there. So their kids are going to be really tough. They're Midwestern kids that play hard. They're going to be physical and strong, I would imagine. They didn't play last weekend because of a scheduling conflict for some reason. I really don't know why. They had two midweek games scheduled this week. They beat Oral Roberts on Tuesday 5-1, and then weather got them yesterday, I believe it was, so against Kansas. So, they haven't played as much here lately as they would like, but, they can hit the baseball. Their numbers are good offensively. They probably hadn't pitched as well as they've wanted to. I think the expectations coming into the year were a little higher than what maybe they've pitched to this point. But offensively, they seem to swing it pretty good. At hitting a 278 clip is pretty good.
Coach, you'd mentioned Coach Gutton and coaching with him. Can you just kind of take us back a little bit to your time there, and just, I guess that was your real coaching experience, what that kind of meant to you and what you learned from that?
Well, he gave me my start. I mean, in all honesty, after I suffered the back injury that knocked me out of the game as a player, the only other option to stay in the game was to coach. And at that time, I was getting my undergraduate degree there, what was then Southwest Missouri State, which is now Missouri State University. So Coach Gutton, they had recruited me out of junior college, knew that I was going to school there, and offered me a student position to help with his young staff at that time. And, I'm grateful for him because if he wouldn't have given me that start, I certainly wouldn't be where I am today. So, but he taught me a lot about the game. He taught me how to lead other players and the position that he was in. So I really think the world of him and man, the accomplishments that he has been able to do over his career, over 1,000 wins. I don't know exactly how many, but it's way up there. I think he's in the College Baseball Hall of Fame and ABCA Hall of Fame. So he's been around a long time and well deserving of everything and the awards that he's got.
You guys, I think I remember you saying you guys played Southern Miss way back when you were up there. What do you remember about coming down here and playing?
We came down and played the road swing down here. We played Jackson State. We went to Nicholls State. We played Southern Miss one game here. That was in 1990. That's when the stadium was being built. The only seats that people could sit in were two sets of bleachers, and they were small bleacher seats behind each dugout. But John Cox was announcing from down on the field. right over where our Batgirl screen is. They pulled up a couple of protective screens at that time to protect him. So it was everything was starting to evolve under Hill and his vision, and building a stadium, and of course that's the foundation of everything that we see today. And I just remember we won the game. It was late in the game, they made a charge, but we ended up holding on and winning. But I can remember leaving Southern Miss, and honestly, I said, man, if I ever get a chance to come here and coach, I would love that opportunity. And who would have known, that 10 years later that opportunity would have been given to me through Coach Palmer.
Oh, Coach, that's kind of interesting story talking about John Cox sitting behind the netting to call a baseball game. That's taking your life in your own hands for sure. I was going to ask you about the your veterans on the team, especially when it comes to batting. You look at McGillis, Lynch, Gabe, just all under 200, not having good at bats. What have you talked to them about? What not good batting averages? I'm sorry. What have you talked to them about, and how do you talk to those guys that are your veterans to say it's time to kind of get things going?
Well, certainly to relax and have fun, and not to put the pressure on. I think that's what you're certainly seeing out of those guys. I mean, they've through the years, the baton's been passed to them to lead us, just like, it was through Slater, through it was Wallner, through all those guys that were great hitters here that were young guys at one time. So, there's a lot of pressure to do that. And I think that those guys are certainly, feeling that pressure. So, we do need them to step up. You just can't count on the young guys the younger guys to all of a sudden carry you. So, it's a process that we're still working through. And we've talked many times on these Zoom calls how hitting can be contagious. And, that's what we're hoping, that they get a couple of hits, and all of a sudden the confidence starts radiating through them. And you can see that that they're seeing the ball a lot better. So, that's my hope, that they'll see that ball real clearly here real soon, and start getting that confidence and putting some really good swings on it. Right now, you can see a lot of times they're at bats, they're chasing stuff out of the zone, or they're not competing early enough on pitches that they ought to be hitting. And there's just a lot of doubt, I feel like that they have within themselves, and they've got to knock that wall down and get that confidence back, and be more aggressive at the plate on good pitches to hit.
Coach, could you give us a status on Shepard and Wilkes?
Well, Shepard's going to throw a pin today. He's going to actually throw a live pin. We're just bringing him back. He's still kind of rehabbing from that. Well, he's not kind of, he is rehabbing from that. So we're going to throw a live pin today and see how he responds and where he is with everything. As far as Wilkes goes, he's a young man that has struggled early. I think at the time, Ewing is giving us what we, a little bit more than what we need offensively. So, Slade's going to be a very good player, but he's going to have to continue to develop. And once again, he's a young man that's probably never failed before and is experiencing that right now. So, got to get that confidence back. The swing's got to get cleaned up a little bit, for this level. There's a big difference from the level that he came from to Division I. So I think that's kind of been exposed, and he's going to have to make some adjustments with the swing to give him that confidence to get back. But he's fine. He's a hard worker. Wouldn't trade him for anything.
Coach, can you tell us a little bit about Ryan Ock and what you've liked from him so far? He seems to kind of be getting back to that, fully healthy, and has looked good for y'all so far.
Yeah, he gives us a great weapon coming out of the bullpen. And he had a really good first year with us, and then he had the injury, and then so it's been kind of a process, him coming back from it. But I know that this fall he had his velo back, but his He didn't command the zone like we needed him to. Ran into a lot of 3-ball counts and just seemed to get his pitch count up there. He and Oz worked a lot about getting his chest over his over his body in his delivery. I know down there in the bullpen and really being more erect. And since he's been able to grasp that mechanical adjustment, he's really filled up the zone, and couldn't be more proud of a young man who has come in when asked to come in and hold the lead or put it out like he has this year.
Coach, after this weekend, you're going to your 4-game series, conference series. Are you comfortable in where you're at pitching wise with a 4th starter and maybe a 5th for some of those midweek games, or is it a 5th starter at this point? It could be a whole staff situation. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I think, we'll take it one game at a time right now. And, certainly this weekend we'll have 3 starters for 3 games. We'll have to have a starter, probably for next Tuesday, or we could mix that up a little bit and script it out for a midweek game to get ready for conference. So, honestly, we haven't really, looked that far ahead. And I know it's only a week away, but we still have 4 games before we start that. So, we have time to figure that out. But it's going to be, it's going to be interesting and an adjustment, I think, for everybody in the league and how they're going to approach that. So, we still have to determine that, Coach Oz and myself.
Those double headers on conference play, those are both 9-inning games, right?
No, 2 7s.
Okay.
So it'll be a 9, 2 7s, and 9.
And that 9-inning, that getaway game is still a 10-run after 7, correct?
Yes, and I'm not sure on this. I asked in our Zoom call on Monday for the conference office to put together a cheat sheet for all of us to kind of lay out the new rules that we had put in place a few weeks back. Everything from the extra inning rule to the run rules to the minimum number of players that you can have to play a series, whether it be a 4-game, 3-game, or 2-game series. So, there was a lot of dialogue with that earlier in the year, and I think everybody's kind of gotten lost at exactly what was decided on. So we should be getting a cheat sheet on that one here before long that kind of lets everybody know exactly, how we're doing everything, even from weather delays. I asked the question the other day, what if you get rained out on a Friday? Now does that go 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday? So, those are scenarios that I think a lot of us have forgotten what we even decided on.
And the extra inning rule with putting a man on second, that's no matter what in conference play, you guys are implementing that rule, or is it something the coaches talk about? Or
No, that is mandatory in conference play. Yes, that's why I wanted to do it out of conference, particularly this past weekend and this weekend as well, just to get ourselves used to that, because there is strategy obviously that goes into that, and something that we've never really had to try to figure out before. So it was good to go through that this weekend. It was even better to have won it in that extra inning game. So, but it told us a lot about how you have to play those kind of games. But they will be in all conference games, will be that extra inning.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, now that you've had a little time to kind of go back over and look at that with the extra inning, how do you feel about it? Do you feel like, there's, as far as strategy goes, is it a little more? I mean, obviously there's a little more to it, but how do you feel like it went as strategy also and the flow of the game? Do you feel like it made the game shorter?
Well, I did, because I think the pillow fight that we were in on Sunday, we could have played 15, 16 innings or more. So certainly, for us to get out of there in 11 innings was really key. I found it interesting where both clubs earlier in the game had the same situation and never could get anybody in. So, late in the game, in both innings, both clubs were able to score a run, with us being able to score multiple runs there to walk it off in the 11th. But, I think the biggest thing is strategy-wise is both from offensive and a defensive is where are you at in your order when you come back up? We all know that the last hitter is the one that starts out at second base, but, there was one inning there where Lafayette, their first hitter, and I think it was the 10th inning, I think their first hitter was their leadoff hitter, which is, obviously puts you at a little bit better disadvantage, you would think, than if you were there in the bottom of your order per se, as you build a lineup.